point really quick, because I am an atheist in a lot of ways, and if I had to make a bet, I would be very compelled to bet in the direction that you're betting, but I also am humbled by the fact that this exists at all is absolutely fucking insane. So that's one thing.
Oh yeah.
So it's like we're in heaven talking about what happens when we die.
Right.
It's like the fact that we're here is already an insane fucking miracle that nobody understands or comprehends. So if that's true, the fact that we're here having this conversation is already so fucking insane that anything could be possible. Truly anything could be possible. And we also live in a cultural moment of science. Since the Enlightenment, we're very scientifically oriented. We used to use religion to make sense of our world. Now most people, even religious people, use science to make sense of their world. And science, and it leads to materialism, reductionism. And so we feel very comfortable with an atheist position intellectually because it aligns with the sort of religion of our time, which is science. Not to say they're the same thing. Science has third-party objective attempts to experiment and know truth in a way that religion doesn't. So as far as like empirical study of the natural world, you'd want science over religion, of course. But who's to say humans exist for 1,000 more years, 1,000,000 more years, 5,000,000 more years? We will look back on this time as we were babies. We didn't understand anything, And that kind of gives me this radical humility that literally anything is possible. Consciousness, for example, the chorus of life from ants, maybe even there's some elementary consciousness in plants. I'm not saying I believe this. I'm saying this is a possibility. All the way up through the most intelligent species share in a singular consciousness that permeates the universe like gravity does. And when we're born into the universe, we take on the position of one node, right? I'm Brett, you're Dave. We experience life from this fixed point in the cosmos, right? But when we are released, if consciousness exists outside the physical realm and is not merely a product of the brain, when we're released by death, our consciousness stops being the individual. It's no longer Brett and Dave, and it snaps back to the universal. This is kind of the idea between like the Hindu Atman, the Hindu true soul, the true self, the ultimate self. In Hinduism, there's this idea you bow to every other person because there's God in them. And the idea in the very simplified way is that God loses himself in the individuals. So God is the cosmos, loses himself in every animal, every intelligent species, now as Dave, now as Brett, now as a dog, experiences itself from every possible conceivable dimension and every angle, but ultimately, and we're deluded into believing that we really are just an individual. We're not a node of something bigger. We're just like, literally, this is all I am, and I will die and go away forever. But, it's God playing the game. It's kind of similar to the techno idea of like, when you die, you wake up and take off the headset, and like you're with your friends in another dimension, and this was a game. That we were playing?
Do it again, yeah.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, that was fucking awesome. It's really 5 minutes in our time, but it felt like I lived an entire life. I had kids, I had best friends, I did all this stuff, And so like there's that's like a techno version of it, but a more metaphysical version would just be like consciousness or God, nature as God, consciousness as God, and we rejoin the one.
Well, what really resonates is that point about where we think how we've advanced now. Like everybody has this is a sort of fallacy that's with so many things. I don't know if there is a name for it, but all right, we got to the point we needed to. Now we have it figured out, and now exactly. This is where we come from. And then so to tie it back in, it's kind of like my Facebook post where if you look back, like I look back on one at 2011, I was like, you fucking idiot. And then when I was living in 2013, I probably made one that was like, this is pretty funny. Yeah, and then 2015 Dave was just like, this is fucking so cringy, dude.
Exactly.
And it just keeps happening over and again. Like I'll look at one, like I made one recently. I'll look back on that, and hopefully we're still doing this podcast and be like, can you believe I said this stupid shit?
Absolutely. So that on a civilizational or even cosmic scale of like, there is never a period where we get to understand it.
Right.
We grapple.
You'll never understand my humor because it's just really bad.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, that gives me a lot of humility. We don't know shit. But then the question of what do you want to happen, and that's actually much harder because there's something dark and sad about atheism, naturalism.
Right.
You just die and go. Everybody you ever loved dies until it's your turn to just go away forever.
Yeah, there's that.
Never have a chance.
That saying that everybody's an atheist till they have kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it hurts too much to comprehend that reality.
Mm-hmm.